Aloha, everyone, and welcome back to the Walking in Aloha Let's Talk Story podcast. I'm Michelle, Ivala Rosa Kawano, and today is day 96 of our 100-day journey. So, we are going through my book, Walking in Aloha 5 Steps to Living Your God Potential Life. And we are getting closer and closer to Paris and day 100. But before we celebrate the destination, God still has some very important lessons for us to learn along the way. Today's lesson is simple. Growth takes flexibility. Yesterday, we talked about how God created each of us on purpose, like I say, on purpose, for a purpose. But knowing your purpose is only the beginning. Living it requires something many of us struggle with, and that is being willing to change. One of the hardest things I've learned is that God's plan rarely looks exactly like my plan. I like plans and checklists, and I have my book, 31, I was going to say 31 steps. Yeah, it's 31 steps to mastery. 31 steps. And I say live your list. I love lists. So I like the checklist. I like knowing what's next. But God often says, trust me. Sometimes He changes our direction. Sometimes He changes our timing. And sometimes He changes us before He changes our circumstance. Flexibility isn't weakness, it's obedience. When we refuse to bend, we often break. And when we're willing to let God redirect us, He can lead us somewhere far better than we ever imagined. As many of you know, our day 100 celebration will be recorded in Paris. And as I've said, we didn't even know what Bastille Day was. We just tried to make reservations at the Eiffel Tower, and we weren't able to find a time slot that was open for the entire day, and we were wondering why would it be closed. And it is because it is Bastille Day. So, like that wasn't even something imaginable years ago. I wouldn't think that I would be in Paris to celebrate that day 100, to be there during Bastille Day when fireworks are going off on the Eiffel Tower and all of that. None of it. Neither was writing this book or starting this podcast and speaking around the world, being an international speaker and launching the Aloha Awakening, which I'm finishing up my cohort B tomorrow. Well, no, it's the 11th. So today, later on today. Excuse me. But it has been amazing. Right now I just have a group of women, and being in the cohort and having each of them feel comfortable enough and secure and safe enough to share with each other and learn and grow. We can all learn and grow from each other. So launching the Aloha Awakening, I never thought, I didn't even think about that 10 years ago. Or interviewing guests from around the world on my podcast. Unimaginable. Never even crossed my mind. None of those things happened because I had everything figured out, because I didn't. They happened because I learned to keep saying, yes, Lord. And I talk about it all the time. It's giving God those messy yeses Even when we feel so uncomfortable doing so, He can take those messy yeses and turn them into something amazing. Sometimes that yes meant changing my plans. Sometimes it meant stepping into something uncomfortable. And sometimes it meant trusting God before I understood where He was taking me. When I did the Next Top Speaker Season 5, I talk about it all the time that I didn't think that I was going to do it. I actually wanted to quit. I didn't want to do it. And being that it was only, oh, excuse me. It was only weeks from the time that I was told that I had a brain aneurysm. I didn't feel like I wanted to do it. I actually felt like sort of defeated. Like I was working so hard, trying so hard, doing all the things, and then something else goes wrong. I actually felt like, why should I do this? And God is good, and He reminded me that it is not about me. And what I could share is that every moment is precious. You're not promised tomorrow. Your expiration date has been written before we even, we were even born. Like God knows it all. So I was like, well, but I did. I went ahead and I did the Next Top Speaker Season 5. And I was so glad that I did, because so many lives were changed by that. By not learning, because everybody knows it already. Everybody knows that this time on earth is not permanent. Death happens all the time. And so it's not like they learned something new for me to say, don't wait. That your time is limited, that the person that you're praying, that the person that's praying for an answer could be right in you. You could be someone else's breakthrough. And for me to say all of that wasn't new. But what was the fact that now they're seeing someone who had every reason not to be there, had every reason to step down, and it would have been perfectly fine, but I didn't. That perseverance showed up so great, and people were like, if you can do that, if you can be that way, if you can step up in this time, what am I complaining about? And that's how so many people were touched by my speech. And I thank God that I did it. I thank God that I did it. It wasn't easy. It wasn't easy. There was a lot of tears. And a lot of tears that didn't just come from me. My story touched the lives of so many other people that it brought them to tears. That they were amazed at how I showed up and delivered in such a way that they thought I learned about my aneurysm long time ago. But when I said no, it was just last Thursday, they were like, what? You know? So our plans may be one thing, but God's plans are so much better. His ways are so much higher than ours. So trusting God before I even understood where He was taking me. And that is exactly what acute awareness teaches. Acute awareness. When we become aware of who God created us to be. When we stop trying to control every step, instead we become flexible enough to follow His leading. Flexible. Purpose without flexibility becomes frustration. Purpose without flexibility, purpose with flexibility becomes transformation. I told the story about the freezing rain and the bamboo stalks. I don't even know if I'm saying that correctly. Correct me if I'm wrong. Leave it in the chat. Is it bamboo stalks? Branches? Anyway, you know what I'm talking about. If the bamboo didn't bend with the freezing rain, it would have been broken. It would have been broken. Purpose without flexibility becomes frustration. Like, it's going to be very frustrating if you can't bend. But purpose with flexibility, like those bamboos in that freezing rain, that becomes transformation. And like I said, I remember my daughter going out there with a stick and just tapping on all of the ice to break it up. Because we never saw freezing rain before. We live here in Hawaii. Yet it coated everything. Everything. But now, that imagery that lives in me, I remember it so clearly. And I can see them just popping back up. And they were fine. And it was so nice to see that area of bamboo standing tall, surrounded by snow. I believe that it's still there today. Bamboo has a way of growing and actually growing underground and popping up somewhere else, if you didn't know. So, the reflection question that I want to ask is, where is God asking you to become more flexible? I believe that we covered the personality type and the flexibility yesterday, because I did day 94 and 95, and today's day 96. But I wanted to go over that again. I wanted to talk about it a little bit more. Because as I was going through the Aloha Awakening, the 5-day intensive with the ladies that have joined me for cohort B, I've realized that there are some that had a harder time in that flexibility. They're learning, they're growing, and yeah, we can see it on their faces as they change and find that understanding. But until they do, it's hard. It's hard. And I tell them, it's not like instant. There's times when you have to work through some of those things. And it's okay. It's okay. It's not enough to ask what someone else went through and how they got through it. It's not enough to do that. Because, yeah, you will get motivated by that. True. You hear their story and all these feel good endorphins inside of you be like, yes, that is great. But are you willing to change? Are you willing to be vulnerable enough to admit the things that need changing, to recognize those things, to become more flexible and transform? So that's why I thought maybe today it needed just a little bit more of that. So where is God asking you to be more flexible? Are you resisting change because it's too scary? Because it's uncomfortable? And what blessing might be waiting on the other side of that obedience? Think about that for a moment. And remember, God isn't asking you to know every step. He's asking you to trust the one who does. When you remain flexible, you, like I mentioned before, when you remain flexible, you can transform. Only then he can redirect you towards something even greater. So, if today's message encouraged you, I want to hear from you. I would love to hear from you. Leave it in the comments. Where is God stretching your flexibility right now? If you're enjoying this journey, if this is helping you in any way, then please like, subscribe, and share it, because that is how we grow. And that is how you help someone else grow. Someone else may need this very reminder. Yeah, they may need this today. And if you'd like to go deeper, then pick up your copy of the Walking in Aloha 5 Steps to Living Your God Potential Life. It is available on Amazon, christianbook.com, Books A Million, Walmart.com. I'm not sure where else, but you could Google it. You could find it. So good. So pick up the book, walk through it, and I have put a contact. Did I? On this one? Let me see. Okay, I thought that I had my contact in here, but maybe it's in my other books. So, but you can find me. You can find me here on YouTube, Facebook, LinkedIn. And if you want to ask any questions while you're going through it, I'm open to that. And if you ever wonder about the programs that I mentioned, like the Aloha Awakening, that is the first step. That is the 5 steps, walking through each and every letter, going deeper. And then taking that investment and moving it over into the voices of Aloha. Going into the next program, you take all of your investment into one and move it to the next. And Voices of Aloha is actually getting your story out in the world, sharing it in the anthologies, Voices of Aloha, Daughter of the King, and Voices of Aloha, Mighty Men of God. Some people are standoffish because it's Christian based. And I understand. But every story someone is waiting for, every breakthrough that has happened, there is someone on the other side of that just waiting for you. So maybe that is your next step. Maybe it is joining the Aloha Awakening and doing the inner hard work in order for you to actually start writing out your story so that someone else can receive it. During this time of travel, I will be packing up books and I will be doing it in a set. So, Blessed to Be a Blessing Worldwide Publishing, I published 31 Steps to Mastery, and I published the 2 anthologies, Voices of Aloha, Daughters of the King, and Voices of Aloha, Mighty Men of God, both a choir of hope. I'll be packing those up and I will be bringing it with me to share it in another country, other countries. I will be in Paris. I'll be in London and Scotland and Ireland. And in each of these places, if I can just plant the seed of what Blessed to Be a Blessing Worldwide Publishing is doing in the world, and the stories that it has within, I'm doing kingdom work. I'm doing the things that God asked me to do. And I don't have many copies of this one. I just checked because we'll be leaving on Sunday. I don't have many copies of this one. But I'll try and bring this into some of the places also. I may not give away so many because I don't have a lot of them. But I'll make it available. And that is what I do. I continue to share. I continue to open doors and set stages, create platforms for people. And as I said earlier, none of it I've ever planned. None of it. So remember, give God your messy yeses, because you don't know how much He can do with a simple, willing heart. So until tomorrow, remember, walk in kindness, walk in faith, walk in purpose, and always, always, always walk in aloha. Until tomorrow, my name is Michelle. Actually, it's Michelle and Gloria Ibala Rosa Kawano. It's very long, but my initials spell out MAGEK. So if you ever see MAGEK, MAGEK, that is why I write it that way. I'm literally just signing my initials. So I am Michelle Ibala Rosa Kawano, coming to you from the beautiful island of Oahu, reaching the world only by the possibilities of God and what He has done in my life, giving all the glory back to Him. So until tomorrow, God's blessings always. God's blessings always. And a hui hou. Hey, if you ever wondered what a hui hou means, and I keep saying it after every podcast, it is until we meet again. So, a hui hou.